What's going on, people? It's Wilson back with another video for you guys on how to trade the news and understand the news, because news can drive a stock price up like crazy, especially if the company has some sort of FDA approval or some really good earnings. But you really got to read the catalyst. Like everyone, all traders know that we have to look for catalysts, but what type of catalyst are we looking for, and whether or not the type of catalyst or the PR is actually good news that investors actually believe in. So here's a good example. Today, trading DFFN, this stock spiked up because of some news. So if we look at the extended hours, let's see if I can pull that up. You can tell that volume just jumped up, the price went up, and then as soon as it opened, take this off, people are shorting it like crazy, and this is the gap, right? And then right now it's getting near towards the end of the day, and the the stock hasn't continued to go back up to its highs where it opened. Now the reason for this is because the news, the hype spikes up the stock, but if the company isn't solid, or if the news isn't really legit, the catalyst isn't really like good catalyst, the stock doesn't continue to play upwards. So that's when shorters take advantage of it, and when investors actually realize that the news isn't really what they're looking for, the stock will drop down, right? So for this specific case in DFFN, what happened is that they said that there was some sort of guidance for their phase 3 trial, but it wasn't necessarily a news where they said that they entered the phase 3 trial, or that they were approved by the FDA or had super good results from that. Now that's what we want to look for when we're looking for a catalyst. We're looking for something like, oh, it was an FDA approval, or they actually finished the phase 3 trial. Because they just had a guidance, it was just all hyped up news. And investors realized this, hence the short from here all the way down. This is the part where you really have to look into the news. When you do your pre-market scans and you see stocks that are gapping up like crazy on high volume, you have to look into the news. You have to go on Yahoo Finance, you have to go on Benzinga or whatever tool you're using, and read the catalyst. See why is it before you take the position. Because let's say you see it open and you see this drop, you're like, okay, maybe I'm going to try to buy in. Then what happens is it'll continue dropping. Then at here you don't, and if you don't sell, you don't cut your losses, you don't have discipline, then you're going to end up being a bag holder. Not saying this stock won't go back up, but then if you actually read the news, they said that they won't actually enter the phase 3 trial until the end of 2017, and God knows how long that will take before they complete it and then put even positive results. So if I see a news like that, I don't like to play it. That's just my style. A lot of people play the shorts. I'm more of a long or swing trader, but when I do intraday, I like to long. So I wouldn't play something like this. It's just scary, and that's why I always read the news before I jump on the hype train. You want every single little knowledge you can about the stock before you enter, and that's what I like to do. So let's show another example of another news. Netflix. Yesterday, this stock was hyped up like crazy because of their earnings. Now, the funny thing about this stock is, and this is also why I never trade earnings, if you look at it, it closed pretty high yesterday at around 202, almost 203. And then they actually posted really good earning results. They grew the subscriber base, they had better revenue, they're expanding to new countries. Everything was in the favor, but boom, it still drops. And this is what happens with earnings. And look at it right now, it's at 199. Even though every single analyst said that it's going to be like 217 or 220. I'm not saying it's not going to get up there in like a month. But if you're a fast momentum swing trader as well as an intraday trader, you you don't want to play earnings. It's just very scary. And if you look at any stock that reports the earnings, it's a roller coaster. It's a gamble. And that's not a trading edge. When we trade, if you want profitable results and consistent results, you want to have a good edge. We don't want to gamble. We want to, each time we take a position, we want to limit our loss as much as possible and have the odds in our favor. That should be your trading edge. So never trade earnings. And this is why. Sure, you could have gotten here and then take the quick pump and dump and try to take your profits. But if you're in this for a longer call, or let's say you bought options, well, this isn't really in your favor and you would be pretty mad right now. So don't trade earnings and make sure you read the news results. Another one you can take a look at today, BOIP, they said they acquired a company. Now, there was no specific news much on what the acquisition report was about. All it was they hyped it up saying they acquired a company. Now, we don't know if that company is jack crap. We don't know if that company is any good to their business model. We don't know anything. But it was hyped up. And look what happened. Boom, it drops and it plays a roller coaster game. Now it goes back to its lows midday towards end day. Uh, that's because news can always drive a gap between pre-market and when it opens. But we don't know the way it's going to play out. So you really have to read the type of news it was. And for this specific news, it was an acquisition, which usually is a really good thing. It means the company is strong and it's something that you want to ride the roller coaster on. But in this specific case, it was a non-disclosure acquisition. We don't know anything about the company. Nothing was listed. And because of that, what happens is that momentum traders will play. They will play these spikes. They will play this early roller coaster. But then the real investors, the hedge fund managers, the fund managers, portfolio managers, they realize that, hey, maybe this isn't as good as well. They do their due diligence, they do their research, they do their fundamentals, and then it goes back to lows. Now, not saying that you don't want to still play the stock on a technical analyst basis, but if it breaks below this support, then chances are that it's going to go back to its original price. Um, so if you're a day trader, you do want to ride the wave, but you want to be able to understand the type of news that you're reading because not every single news is actually good news. What I like to look for is a lot of insider buying plus really good revenue increases, or they're launching a new product and they're doing super well, or when it comes to biotech stocks that they actually got approved, not just that they're following a guidance to get approved. We're looking for facts like they just posted some sort of trial results and it was super positive, and now they're advancing onto something else. Now, all these little things will combine. Um, and they can make really good continuation play. Just like HMNY, that was a really powerful stock for many, many, many days because they were growing subscriber base and they kept pumping out new news. So that's not a stock that I was short. But I just wanted to make this video because I get asked a lot about the news. I see call outs all the time about news, and you really have to do your own research before you take the position on whether or not the news is actually going to act in the stock's favor. So if you're doing swing trades, this is extremely important. So I just want to make a video on that, and I hope this helped everyone. If you like what you're watching, please hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and you can follow me on Twitter at iswilson8. Thank you guys for watching.